All right. We are live. We are live. And since we're live, I want to bring back this clip that I have not used in so long. So since we're live, let me do this throwback clip real fast.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll,
No.
we'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live.
Gotta do it live. We gotta do it live. I
Oh,
missed that clip. I haven't used that clip in a long ass time. So there you go. So everybody, welcome back to another Fan podcast. We discuss everything that's going on in pop culture, whether that's video games, comics, anime, reality TV, all that other good stuff. And it's Friday night, our Marvel Fridays, as I like to call it. And here we have part of the crew right here. I'm your host, RL Knuckles, with my guys, Anthony, King Anarch. Did I pronounce that right?
King Anna.
and, and the comic god himself, Eric B. And as once again, it says Marvel Fridays. We were talking about, the latest episode of She-Hulk. And before we get into that right now, today here in Pennsylvania it was pretty chilly out there. Like, yesterday was the first day of fall, but today just felt like holy shit. Like I think fall is here right now. So I was a little chilly right now. But since it's fall season, people are gonna come at me. I don't give a fuck. This is just me, but all week, Monday through Friday, I went to Starbucks and I had that iced tea cha pumpkin foam latte thing. Shit is delicious, man. Like I don't give a fuck. I got basic bitch in me. I got basic bitch in me. I don't give a fuck. I love me some pumpkin. I'm one of the few brothers in this world that loves pumpkin. I don't give a fuck. Y'all gotta say I love me some fucking pumpkin. I don't
I
drink
mean, I like.
coffee.
I like me some pumpkin spice.
Yeah, I don't drink coffee, but when I do, it's pumpkin flavor. Stay basic, my friends. But yeah, I'm all pumpkin bread, pumpkin milk, all pumpkin, bro. I don't give a fuck. I love me some pumpkin. So if you come at me that for liking pumpkin, well, fuck you too. You want me hating me for liking pumpkin, well, fuck you too. All you want is fuck you too. I love me some fucking pumpkin.
With some aggression
I know.
earlier. Very
So I
aggressive.
get my teeth back on. But another big reason why I love fall is, video game season. This is where we get the best of the best of video games right now. But Grant, I don't think anything's being Elden Ring, but we still have a lot of great games coming out in this fall season. And before we get into the show, I just want to know are any games you guys are looking forward to playing this year? Because I posted a quick little TikTok video of like some upcoming games coming out in the fall. Obviously God of War, Ragnarok, that's part of the list right there. So I mean yeah, I don't know what else I can say after that.
It's definitely Ragnarok. I mean,
Yeah,
I
big
played the last God of War and like I fell in love with that game. I mean, it's just from start to finish, storyline, everything is just it's fire. So
Eric,
I
it
mean,
looks like you're thinking down there. I think you're trying to think of another game besides
Um,
God of War.
yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else I wanted to play this year coming out, but I think they gave the date for the sequel to Zelda Breath of the Wild. I think it's called something.
Um, so that comes in May, I believe.
Yeah, it was like Kingdom of the Tears or something like that. But that's what I'm most excited about. Like they could have
the,
just
the next year game.
they didn't have to do anything. Just tell me when it's coming out. But that's next year. But
oh, and also too, Arkham Knights was one that was
Every
on there.
people are skeptical about that game. The
Gotham
the
Knights.
game, yeah, the gameplay. Like they prefer Asylum better, but I mean, I'm still gonna give the game a shot. You know, I understand there might be some questions. Same thing with Overwatch 2. I like the first one. I'm still a little bit skeptical of the second one, but I'm still gonna play it though. Like even though might be some issues with some few games, I still might give the game a shot. I mean, of Overwatch 2 is free, so why the fuck not? But Gotham Knights, I mean, what's getting to me that game is playing co-op online, and I love co-op. So that's another game that I plan on streaming on my channel.
It might be cool with other people, but I'm probably gonna wait.
So it gets cheaper.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if it
They do
becomes
it for like
cheaper on Black
Xbox Game
Friday.
Pass.
I just love that they got multiple players. Like I like how they had like as far as like being able to play with like Batman and Catwoman in the last one, like for you to be able to play as like Batgirl, Red Hood, and Robin and all that, Nightwing. I think that would be pretty dope because they all got different type of weapons. Like you can do like dual kind of fighting where you can switch on players like in certain scenes. So I think it's like one of those ones that I think is like it was really hard for them to probably make it, and that's why it took so long for them to drop it. But I don't know. I think it's still probably a fun game. It's just that it got high expectations with all the other Arkham games that came out.
True.
Yeah, rightfully so. Rightfully so. But listen, we can go on about that, but we're talking about the main course, and that is She-Hulk episode 6, Just Jen. And normally, sometimes I like to start off, but Eric, since you were not here last week, I want you
Okay.
to do you the honors of starting. What you thinking about this episode. But before you start, I said last week to Anthony and Rachel that don't expect to see Daredevil next episode. Apparently, people were pissed about that. I told y'all to expect it, but like y'all had your hopes up, but he was not gonna be on the next episode, and I knew it. I just had to feel it. I don't. There really wasn't a reason, but like with how this show has just been like all scattered over the place, I just didn't see him appearing in this episode.
Yeah, I think they're kind of holding them off towards the end to have people come in and see him. The thing I'm afraid of is they're gonna mess him up bad. Like he's not gonna be like the Daredevil we remember from the Netflix. He's gonna be like super watered down. He's not gonna have that edge, And uh, quite frankly, between the last two episodes, um, the the series has just been bad writing. It's been bad writing and bad execution. Um, I'm trying to think. I can barely remember the last episode. I like to remember this episode, but
It had like the outfit.
Oh
okay,
yeah,
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 yeah. I almost forgot what happened last week. Oh my god.
yeah. He was like in the courtroom, and I'm like, oh, we finally like Anthony was talking about like why don't they have more courtroom stuff because it's called Attorney at Law, and then the courtroom scene was just horrendous. I was like, who did this? I was like, had they never seen a Law and Order episode? Like that Law and Order is filmed perfectly to the point where you can do if you don't know how to do like a scene from a courtroom, like that's the way you should be doing it. But like it was just bad, and then the fact that they made her humiliate herself to get out of that situation was like, why? If this is supposed to be our main character, why are you putting her through trash to the point where like it feels like just they hate the Jen Walters character and they just want to show She-Hulk, but the story itself is making you work to see She-Hulk. You know what I mean? It's like it's always an effort to get the She-Hulk, and this episode in particular where she went to the wedding and it was just like, oh, I don't want She-Hulk at my wedding, and it was just like, oh well, let me go back down to the regular Jen, and then we had to work our way to get to see She-Hulk, but overall the episode was terrible. Execution was really bad. Titania's motivation didn't make sense. Like it's just everything is so superficial, and I just don't know what they're doing with this character. The show is all over the place. It's got no basis, no ground. And then I think at the end of the episode, they kind of tried to have like, oh, like remember when she got attacked 4 episodes ago? Oh, we're gonna bring in that storyline because somebody's trying to take her blood for whatever reason, and I guess like this will lead to maybe the Thunderbolts movie, but or Red Hulk, and I'm just like, even if they do, like, what was the purpose of this show? Like, was it just to get this blood to go to another character? Because the show itself it has no direction, it has no. I mean, I keep saying it, but it has no. It wasn't written well, and it wasn't executed well. And if this is what we get for this, I mean, if this is what we get so far, like I'm afraid on future episodes of future shows, like I'm afraid what they're gonna do with Daredevil Born Again. And the the caliber of acting that you have in that collective of Daredevil Born Again with just Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox by themselves is amazing. And if they've messed that up, then at that point, I'm probably just gonna be like, you know what? I might pass just watching MCU stuff.
Ooh,
Mm,
So
see,
damn.
my he still got the feelings about it. See, I had to take my approach and come back a little bit. Now we discussed this last week. I had to get some of my feelings out of it as far as like this being a serious show or it, having some kind of well put together story. And I was like, let me just take this show for what it is. It's Marvel now. They got this whole plan of every show or every Marvel kind of hero being bubbly and funny and kind of have like this uh flowers and like rainbows kind of thing going on with when it comes to like these superheroes now because Disney has to pertain to kids at the end of the day. So it's like let's make She-Hulk, but then let's make her relatable in the sense that like people in the normal life would be like, "Oh, I get that, ha ha ha," but kids would be like, "Oh, I like She-Hulk. It's a woman. She turns into a big green woman. Like, it's Shrek and Fiona mixed together. Like, so it's to me like with these two episodes, I started to be like, okay, I can start to see what they're starting to do with their character. Last episode, like when we talked about character development, where they had the courtroom scene, and it was like the courtroom scene is like that, whatever. Like, why would they add, humiliate her and stuff like that? But at the same time, it's like that's what they used in the previous episodes. So they had to find a way to say, oh, this ties into her winning this courtroom battle. So, like you said, it's kind of poor execution as far as like the story that like we want to see or the court battles that we want to view because we're more mature. But for them, they're like, oh, let's just make it like cute and fun and relatable to like women. And then it was like this episode, it was like the whole idea of, oh, when people go to weddings and you got a bridezilla and you got this woman that don't take away my shine while you're here. And it was just interesting that she walked up to the wedding as She-Hulk anyway. I'm like, there was no reason for her to pull up and have She-Hulk dressed. Like, it was like she should just came as a normal self. Like, there was no reason. And then so that started a dialogue of, oh, could you not do that? And then it went to Titania, which is supposed to be the antagonist, as we were talking about how she going to fit into this. And it was like she's like that she's just in it to be that villain. She's just in every single situation. Now I can understand that that's how they're trying to chime her in and like be like, okay, this is the villain. But it was like, yeah, like why is she showing up there? Oh, like now she's holding a grudge on She-Hulk and Jennifer Walters. So now she's a friend of a friend that got into the wedding. And then and it's like weird to me because like wouldn't like the bride like be like who's your plus one and like if these people had a problem before, like when you be like, you probably can't bring her because y'all got issues. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Or she might not have known. But then there was like the whole scene where like she like gets drunk and like she's throwing up. And that was like her moment of like kicking her in the face. And I was like, damn, that's wild. Like she just like got finished like throwing up and like she gets kneed in the face. And I'm like, damn, like she's like regular human. Like she had like no bruises, no broken nose, no nothing. I'm like, is this how it usually goes down? Like, did Bruce Banner, if he wasn't Hulk, like if he got punched in the face, I'm pretty sure like he would have felt it, right? I don't know. It was like a little weird to me that she was kind of facing her regular form and like taking hits or getting pushed around. And like it was like I don't know, that whole like fight situation was just like a little weak. It was kind of slow. Like, I mean, I got a laugh out of her slipping on the ice and falling on her face. That was funny. I laughed. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna like act like I was super serious the whole time, um, but yeah, it was like then they threw in the courtroom situation with like the one that we were saying she actually holds herself as a lawyer, like she is very serious like in what she's doing, and I thought that case was interesting honestly, because it was like at least they are showing like other like people with superpowers. So it was like he was like immortal, So I thought the whole scene where he's coming in talking about like, these cases of like divorce and like with these women plus a man, like that, all of a sudden he's sitting in this room with two women, and they're like he's talking about all the stuff that he kind of did to these women, and then they're like, wait, hold up, like they took a step back and like it started like saying how bad, how wrong he was. Now this would have been interesting to talk to Rachel about, obviously, because she had a female perspective on it, and how how me and her like kind of in our dialogue of men and women, how they switched up, like, oh wait a minute, like, you know we're women too, so we know how they feel.
Mhm.
But I thought it was kind of funny that he did the dolphin dive out the window. I did laugh at that scene too, because I was like, damn, he dead. But then I was like, oh, he's superhuman, so like he lands
Mr.
on like,
Immortal.
yeah, he lands on like this like baby security car, which I thought was hilarious as well, because I'm like, why is this security car so little in front of this like in front of this like lawyer building with like superhumans? But anyway, um, yeah, I just thought that like they're throwing that kind of stuff in there, and I was like, okay, like this is what this show's gonna be. It's not going to be what we want. Like I expected more from her going to the guy and getting a new outfit and being a little bit more presentable, like a level up. And then it was like they really didn't touch on that at all in this episode at all. And that was a little bit of a letdown for me, because I expected like a little bit better of a situation. But yeah, I don't really have too many like I would let you take the floor, Knuckles, because I ain't gonna
You
hold up.
pretty much said a whole lot of things. So I was like, dang, you pretty much said everything I wanted to say right there. Okay, so this episode, I mean, well, to your point, I about Titanium being the villain. I never saw her as the villain. I just saw her as being, the rival. I don't think she's the true villain in this whole entire show. I mean, when when you look at her, I can't even take her seriously as a villain. Honestly, like, I understand she's an established character, but like in the comics, but like I can't take her seriously. Other than that, though, I mean, this episode was just Jen. Can't say much about it. Like I said before, that this show, it is what it is. I mean, it's taking what it is. Just 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 a comedy show. No story, no direction. Like we don't really know like where we're going with all this. Like I said, obviously we're gonna touch base on the fact that she was attacked a while ago. Well, here was the thing that I found interesting, was that when her friend and Miss Books went into that She-Hulk Hayden website type of thing, it kind of reminded me of how people are just, now be honest, we can all agree that we're not really feeling the show, but these people are saying how to cancel She-Hulk, how to do this, how to do that, like, trolling, death threats. I feel that's what people are doing right now with the show. Even before, excuse me, even before the show even premiered, we had all these trolls saying this, that, and the third. And what I do like, how what Marvel shows are doing right now, we're connected to like what's going on in the real world. Like I said, Titania is just pretty much jealous of She-Hulk getting all the attention. Then we see this website saying all this shit. I believe her name is Miss Book. She says, "Oh, just ignore it. That's what trolls get their satisfaction." But when you see people doing some death threats online, you never know if that's true or not. So I felt that was like an important thing where where that's related to the world of today. So I just feel that I should be talking about more. And towards the end of the episode, I don't know. I guess they're trying to do super soldiers again. Like I don't know. I mean, it kind of looks something similar to that. Like I don't know what's going on with that. So what else are they trying to do? What else would you need her blood for? You want to create so many soldiers of your own right there. So
But it's like what Eric is saying. It's like this buildup of like this group that obviously attacked her and trying to take her blood. It's like one of those things where like they're gonna put it like in the very last episode, and then it's gonna be like Daredevil's gonna come out of nowhere. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things where they're building you up to it, and which people know, and then that's gonna be like the episode where it's like, oh, there's Daredevil, and then that's it.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I
To
don't know. I mean, like I said, you said most things I wanted to say. I mean, just like I said, the show is what it is. You're just a comedy show with just
but
so
to the
many
point,
episodes.
it is a comedy show, but the problem with that is the title is called She-Hulk Attorney at Law. How long has she been in a courtroom? You know what I mean? Like that's just like y'all remember the show Iron Fist? I was like, it was more litigation in Iron Fist than it was in She-Hulk Attorney at Law. It don't make no sense. You know what I mean? I'm like, Iron Fist supposed to be about kung fu. They in the courtroom most of the time, office litigation.
Hmm.
She-Hulk Attorney at Law, they out here doing. They I don't even know what they doing. They doing whatever.
You just doing
And,
regular
and,
life shit.
and we said this last week that like Miss Bogue is a better lawyer than Jen. You know, that you take her seriously. She knows how to take charge. Like she's a strong woman, and I love that about her. She ain't taking no shit from anybody. So it's like Jen, this was to be you're supposed to be like her.
Yeah,
You're supposed to be like her.
and that's the
Like,
thing. If they had like you said, like the Mr. Immortal stuff was kind of hilarious, but like if they had more of that, where it's
Yeah.
just like superheroes getting into issues that she's solving,
Yeah.
because she's an attorney.
Yeah.
And she's like those weird situations. Like that lady shouldn't have been there in the first place. It should have been her. But why is her and her assistant doing it, but not her?
Yeah, and don't make it. That's
It
what I'm
don't
saying. It
make
don't make
sense.
sense.
because
Like,
she's at a bridal party. That's why.
yeah, but like
That's what it's
they use every excuse in the book to not have her in the courtroom. And when she's in the courtroom, she's getting embarrassed. She's not being that character of this lady, like you said, she's a strong woman. But like that's the character she is supposed to be in the show. You know what I mean? Like,
They're trying to get a blend of both worlds.
I mean, yeah, but like it's
Yeah,
it's it's all right. Imagine this, right? Imagine you're watching Daredevil, and Daredevil had a sidekick that was out there knocking people out at night with the mask on, and then Daredevil was sitting at his couch doing the paperwork for the office. You know what I mean? So it's like the show is called Daredevil. Why isn't Daredevil doing the stuff that Daredevil does? If it's called She-Hulk Attorney at Law, She-Hulk should be doing
Well,
the
remember this episode was just called Just Jen.
I'm not even talking about just this episode.
Yeah, I know.
Overall, like this episode this episode with Mr. Immortal. I'm like, why isn't her character doing this? Why is it somebody else? You know what I mean? Like, so the point of bringing in an extra character was to do the stuff she can't do in the office. And why you call it She-Hulk Attorney at Law? It should be called this lady Attorney at Law.
yeah.
And
And that's why we were talking about the last episode where I was saying that there is a lack of her being in the courtroom, and then also too, like she's like this person where she seems like she's a novice, like she hasn't been in doing this for years, and that's why I was just kind of like how she's like very playful, or she seems like she doesn't know what she's doing sometimes. And I was saying like the narrative would be better if like how is she doesn't really did we talk about it? I think we talked about it last week. Like, how would she know how to defend people that are superhuman? Because she's never done it. Like, they just threw her in to defend superheroes. So that's like a whole nother ball game of like what she has to learn. So to me, her solving those kind of issues to me makes a lot more sense. As far as if it's She-Hulk Attorney at Law, because now you're building up that kind of character development of her learning how to defend superheroes.
Yes.
yeah,
And that's the direction they should have took the show. But instead they took it in this other direction where it's just like, and the crazy thing is you can still have those elements of the super soldiers stuff like you said, or the uh all the like not the side stupid stuff, you know what I mean? Like the story enhancing stuff. But like you can still have all the side stuff, but like it just feel like they were just like, we're gonna give you a little bit of this and a little bit of this and a little bit of this and a little bit of this. Like they didn't actually know what the to set
but you
the
see how
show.
you say, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. The time we get these episodes are like 20 minutes. There's like no time at all for any of to talk about any of this stuff because like what you're saying is perfect if it's longer. If we had like a 40-minute episode. Instead, we just get 20 minutes. So it's like I don't know where the budget was with this film. I mean, it's Disney. They got a bunch of money, but it's like you give me like these 20-minute shows. Like I feel like I'm watching. I'm back to a kid again watching Dexter's Laboratory with like each episode being like a couple minutes. That's what it feels like with this.
But Dexter Laboratory got better character development. It's like right from the gate.
I'm just talking about like time frame of these episodes because these
No,
episodes
I
just
know
feel
what you
so
mean, but
short.
I'm saying Dexter's those old cartoons we watched for a half an hour did better in those 20 to 22 minutes than this show did in 5 episodes. Hell, I would watch an episode of like the X-Men animated series, and they would have all the character development in one episode,
Yep.
and still give you the feel, still give you the action, and close out the story in 20
Yep.
minutes.
Yep. I was just watching Gargoyles today.
Oh my god!
Oh man,
Oh my
But
god!
like the episode to episode, like it's like there's a beginning, middle, and end, and you're like, I got it. Like,
I'm hooked.
And perfect example. If you ever watched the Gargoyles show, they have they start somewhere. I mean, the overall series, right? They start somewhere, and then they keep going, but they don't forget characters from the past. So they
Yep.
bring other characters forward in that story.
yep,
And I was just like, that's a perfect example of storytelling and
Mhm.
character development.
yep,
I mean, yeah, shout out to you and for that one because that is a amazing
Yeah.
show.
yeah,
It really is. I mean, honestly, I'm one of those people that's like, we can all have different opinions, but if you talk bad about gargoyles around me, I probably will fight you. I probably
Yo,
will.
Gargoyles was that show, bro.
Damn,
But
man,
no,
it
I
was.
mean, it's like, yeah, I just think that like it's hard to criticize this show because there's people out there that's like they like it just because of its like humor and like even with the person that was getting married, like at the beginning she's like, don't become the She-Hulk. She becomes a She-Hulk, and then she's like scared, and she's like, I didn't, mean to do it. And then she's like, super drunk, and she's like, oh, She-Hulk's at my wedding, like, you know what I mean? And it just flipped it. But I get what they're trying to do, like, from the wedding for beginning, and at the end when you're like super plastered drunk from the reception, that you don't really give a shit, but it still was just kind of like a
It didn't sit right with me.
mhm.
That little flip, it was like we barely, I don't know, it didn't play well. Like
And
maybe if done it a little better, then it would
like the
sit right
fight.
with me. Yeah, but like even like for example, like you were like from a woman's perspective, my wife watched it and she was like, "This is terrible." And then you've been watching it since the beginning. You've been watching it with me, and she was like, "This show is awful." I'm like, "Yep."
Yeah,
Yeah, but here's the thing. At least we're not liking it like for the right reasons. Like I said, I know you said this a bunch of times, but we're not. But we don't like it because of the right reasons. We're not saying we don't like it because it's like woman character. We already talked about that shit. At least you like it for legit good reasons. Everybody's just on some bullshit reasons. Like, give me a legit good reason why you're not fucking with this show.
Well, it's
And
like that argument, right? They've been having lately about female characters and um, leading shows, right? Like you got or leading movies. You got like the Woman King out right now with Viola Davis that's killing it in the
I still gotta see it.
me
yeah.
too.
Well, I haven't seen it, but like all I hear is good things about it.
Until you
Yeah.
have those people that like, you know what I'm talking about. Those
Yeah, but you got people crapping on it. But the whole thing is like, if you look on Rotten Tomatoes, I believe the audience score and the critic score are pretty close together, which is rare.
Yeah,
But then you got stuff like this, I would say, and like what's it called, Rings of Power, that has the Lord of the Rings title on it. So that's a show that's on Amazon right now that has a female lead, a lot of female leads, and it has diversity characters, which means they got like black and other race of colors in them.
same as House of Dragons.
Yeah, so perfect example, right? House of Dragons is killing it. Everybody loves it, right? The show's great. Yeah, acting is amazing. The set pieces are crazy. And then you look at Lord of the Rings, where it's just like people are just like, I hate it, this, that, and the other. And people are like, I hate it because of the inclusion of diversity. But then I'm like, that's not the reason you hate it, or if you do, then probably racist. But
Yeah.
also has to add in the fact that the show is bad, the acting is bad, the
Hmm.
story is bad. You know what I mean? Like you can't look at it and just be like, well, these people don't belong. Right? Whatever. Like you can say whatever you want. These are not real characters. Anybody can play anybody, just like I said before. These are not real characters. It'd be different if they made a story of Morgan Freeman and Tom Cruise was playing Morgan Freeman in his movie. Then that is something to be argued about.
I mean, the agent wanted Doctor Strange, but nobody kept quiet about that shit though. Everyone's all fine with that.
Yeah,
We more mad at the Little Mermaid though.
but like my
Hmm.
thing is the Little Mermaid thing. I'm glad you brought that up too. The Little Mermaid thing. I feel like if it's good and it kills, then people won't have anything to say.
I feel like it's gonna be
Yes.
fire.
Exactly. And then once that happens, like they'll just be like, "Oh, okay, like we can't say nothing because the movie was good." And Rings of Power, they seem like in this they seem like they have a problem. They seem to be aiming at like the woman thing, but that's not what's making the show bad. It's just the writing and execution that's just really bad. You know what I mean? And it's just like you look at the flip side where House of Dragon has all that. It has diverse cast, it has a woman lead. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm just like, and it's killing it. And you look at the Woman King as a woman lead. Well, it has all black cast, and and it's killing it. You know what I mean? So like that argument can't be made for just like, oh, it's because of the people that's in it. Like, no, most of the time, let's go back and look at all the bad movies that were uh, piloted or commanded by white men. There's a lot of them out there. You
Yeah.
know, there's bad movies made by a lot of people, but the writing, the directing, it's more than just the people in the show. And in this show, I just think the people didn't have they didn't know where to take the show. They didn't know what they were doing with the character,
There's no
and I think
direction.
no direction because they wanted it, even if they wanted it to be fun and funny and a comedy. There's no reason to name it then She-Hulk Attorney at Law because you can do She-Hulk Attorney at Law and then still do funny things. You know what I mean? Like they did it with the Immortal. My problem is that our character, the main character that we're supposed to be following, that we're supposed to be sympathetic with, that we're supposed to see as like us in this situation, is not doing any of that, and that doesn't make sense to me at all.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, like you said, it's about the writing. And I mean, just to touch on that just a little bit, because we talked about it a little bit last week, about a female lead and like the direction that, a lot of shows are going in now, because everything is pretty much trying to be more progressive. And, I don't have a problem with it. Like we said, we're critiquing the show because we have good intentions, because we're like, we know what it could have been and like how the show could have been presented in a way that you could have got both and everybody could have been happy. And I just think that like a lot of times like people rush things just because they want the buzz or they want people to watch it to keep things moving, but not understanding like that quality matters. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when people take time to make these projects and it comes out and does well, they get the ratings. They get the people that are like that give it a thumbs up all the way across the board. Like we said, like with House of Dragons, like the House of Dragons, like I think they took the time, they got the story right, they got the characters right, and the presentation, and it's doing well because of that. Because they actually, obviously there was a story behind it already, but it's still like, they were able to execute it. With She-Hulk, it has a story as well, but it's just that they didn't follow that story and was able to present it in a way that made sense to the title. Now, as far as like it should have been She-Hulk, woman in society or something. Like it should have been called. You know what I mean? It's showing a whole lot of stuff that's pertaining to what the normal person goes through on a day to
I
day.
I see more of her complaining about her dating life than I see her about her actual like attorney life. It's more on her dating shit. It's like, bro,
Yeah,
like
Davidson.
Yeah, it's like
forget
I
it.
need to get some. Like I'm like, what is? I mean, this episode finally showed like somebody that had interest in her outside of her being She-Hulk. And then like when she walked into like the reception hall as She-Hulk, when she was about to fight, he kind of looked like, oh, like there was an added bonus to like, oh, dang, like which is like, all right, they finally added that in,
Ooh.
but it's like, yeah, it was like done in such a cheesy way of like this wedding crashers like type of like I met a person at a wedding kind of bullshit. And like you said, like it just takes away from what they should be focusing on. And I think that if it played out that she was more in control of herself, that's how she started the show off. That's why it's like they pull back on that that progressive aspect of like the powerful woman. It's like, oh, let's start this show off as her being somebody that has a voice and knows how to speak for herself. And then okay, let's pull it back. Let's make her this woman that she's unsure of herself, she's unsure of like who she is kind of thing, you know what I mean, and not strong in her spot, like she's going out there with the Hulk and she's showing that she has full control over her powers, but yet she doesn't have control over her own dating life and who she chooses to date. Come on, bro. That's not it don't go together, and that's why I think like it's failing when it comes to the execution.
It's very interesting.
Execution, directing. They have the actors, so they have the right actors. It's just bad script,
Yeah, I
really
mean,
bad script.
you've seen Orphan Black, which is the show Tatiana Maslany had before. Amazing. She plays different characters almost all the time, and it's just like, and it's an amazing feat of acting. So when they cast her for the show, I thought it was going to be amazing because I was like, she was already an amazing actress. I was like, this is going to be crazy. And then to the caliber, it doesn't add up to her caliber of acting. You know what I mean? I'm just like, it's if you, I mean, Orphan Black was a great show, but I feel like a lot of people don't know the show. So like for somebody like me who's a fan of hers, it's like, is this what she's doing now? And the people who don't know her, who are watching her for the first time, is like, yeah, she's not that great. Because I'm gonna be honest, like the material's not that great. So it's like it's a waterfall effect. If the writing's not good, how you expect the actor to act correctly if they're given basically flawed, damaged dialogue and stupid things to do. I mean, like,
Hmm.
and like you're not gonna say no because Marvel is a big staple in the movie world right now. So
Nope.
they'll put your name on the map. So like you do something for them, and you should get more stuff.
I mean, her name's on the map right now, but not for the best reasons, though. They like
No.
they're probably gonna forget about you after this series is over. They're like, oh, it's part of the Avengers. Oh, okay. Like her and Miss Marvel. They're right now.
Yeah,
they're not the most
yeah.
beloved ones right now in Phase 4. They're
Mm.
not. And you want to have a nice audience reaction, but right now the audience right now it's man. I hate to say this, but it's almost like the Captain Marvel treatment almost. It's I'm not gonna. Well, I think the cast
Mm.
actually likes her. I think the cast actually likes her, but like in terms of liking the character itself right now, it feels
Well,
like
in terms of the Captain Marvel stuff, um, I think I guess I'm the only one who like reads her in comic books, but she was kind of annoying in the comic book
Mm.
to the point
I
where,
mean what she did in Civil War Part Two, that was kind of
yeah, I mean, like after that, people were kind of just they were just like, yeah, this is not the character we want to get behind. And then you add the fact that I think people already kind of dislike Brie Larson
yeah.
and didn't like them choosing her for Captain Marvel, and like it kind of just built on top of that. I think.
Here's my problem right now with the MCU. There hasn't really been a good female movie or show so far? Think about it. Our first female Marvel feature Marvel film was Captain Marvel. Wasn't the best movie. What was after that? We had WandaVision was co-ed.
Widow.
Too little, too late for that movie.
Yeah,
Uh,
That's
Miss
trash.
Marvel, Miss Marvel,
I would
not.
say the best was what WandaVision.
Can we? I mean, that was her and Vision. Though, so that's why I don't want to I don't want to put that on the
I mean,
list.
it was like what it was around her.
It
You know
was
what I
pretty
mean?
much geared around
True,
her.
true.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
everything, literally, her whole environment was built around her.
True,
So
but she did. But okay, then maybe that's the one good female show slash series that we got. So like in the MCU so far.
Yeah, that's the only
Uh,
one.
yeah, and Miss Marvel and now She-Hulk. Like, and we said this earlier. I said this earlier. It started off good. And I'm saying, okay, am I nervous that it's gonna it's gonna like go down from there? And it has. And honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm not surprised. I had a
Mhm.
feeling this was gonna happen, and I want to be wrong so because I'm like, okay, 9 episodes, we should be good. Like I said, WandaVision had 9 episodes, and their episodes were like 40 minutes, at least 30 minutes. No, these these episodes are just like 20 minutes. It's like 20 minutes.
They put all that budget in on the first episode, and after that, they was like, "All right, do what y'all want with this."
We
yeah,
done, and it's like you want. Here's the thing: you want these shows as well because like okay, fans will be like, oh my god, I can't wait to see this character come back in the Avengers. Now it's like, oh, I can give a shit about this character. Like, let's be real, right? Who do we care about right now in the MCU right now? We only care about right now Captain America, Falcon, Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy. Like a lot of these Phase 4 new characters, maybe besides Moon Knight, they haven't really been struck well with the audience so far. We're like, oh,
yeah.
okay,
So like that was one of the main things they said before. They were like, look at the first three phases and who was the one you care about the most? And of course, first top was Iron Man. Like Iron Man carried throughout the series. Then it was probably Captain America. Then it was Thor. Then it was all the other ones that you liked underneath there.
yeah,
But like they don't have an anchor to set down on type of thing.
Mhm.
Whereas in the previous phases they had either Robert Downey Jr. or they had Chris Evans to aim at. Like most of the landmark movies I feel were Captain America's movies. Because I think Winter Soldier was probably one of the best made movies they've ever done, right behind Infinity War. But like Civil War was a pivotal movie for Captain America and Iron Man, even though it's called Captain America Civil War.
kind of like an Avengers movie, pretty much.
It was pretty much an Avengers movie, and it created the rift between Tony and Captain America, where it was just like they had the reason. This was the reason they broke up, and this was the reason Thanos was able to take advantage of everybody
Yep.
because everybody was separated. And it's just like we don't have these characters that hang our or connect to. You know what I mean? Like we don't have that connection. Like I cared about what happened to Tony Stark. I wanted him to be the Tony Stark in Endgame. You know what I mean? I saw him develop as a character. Captain America. I was like, I cared what happened to Captain America. I saw him develop from I want to be a soldier to like, oh, trust the government, trust the government. Nah, man, don't trust the government. Like, make your own decisions. This is supposed to be free. You know what I mean? This is what I did for people to be free. It was like the change of him, and of course Thor, who had the most drastic change. Um, I think throughout the whole phases where he was just like,
Well,
I'm the
Thor got
god,
better.
to like I'm humble, to I'm even more humble, to I lost everything,
Everything.
and then to be like, man, I messed up everything. Literally, I had the man right here. I could have chopped off his head, ended everything, but then I fucked up, and then like the depression he falls into to come back up. And I do think Thor: Love and Thunder was a missed opportunity for that character, but like still, so like the whole thing is we don't even know if he's coming back. You
Let's
know,
not get into that. I like Thor.
well, no, I'm not saying it was a bad movie. I said it was a missed opportunity for them to do something um, very dynamic with his story arc, where he does you do see him kind of rise again. And I feel like in the movie they just kind of skipped by it. They were just like, "Oh yeah, he worked out, he's fine now." And it was like, no, what about the trauma he had? What about the trauma he has about his family being gone? Like, his mom being killed. He being responsible for a whole people that he feel like he's failing. You know what I mean? And it was just like they didn't touch on any of that. They were just like,
He
he's just gonna
trained.
go.
No,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Eric, to your point, I would have loved to see how he felt losing Cap and Iron Man. That's what I really want him to feel like. Like
Exactly.
that.
Like, look, my
That
family
was
members of
such.
the Avengers
That
are
was
gone.
missed.
Like literally, he's the one of the main three. So he's one of the founders of the Avengers, and they're gone. Basically, everybody he started out with is gone because Hawkeye retired, Black Widow's dead, Tony's gone,
Hawkeye's
Captain America's
retired.
gone, Hulk is still around, but that's it.
Yeah.
Like, and
But
how he they, nothing about
there
them
was
those.
a key word and all that too, as far as the development was movies. We don't, those kind of characters you need in movies to get that kind of gravitational pull as far as like getting everybody in tune with these characters. And they did strategically map out these characters in a way that the movies were lined up
Yep.
made you anticipate it even more. So I think
Yeah,
that
yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point because everybody was excited for WandaVision. Everybody was excited for Falcon and Winter Soldier. Everybody was excited for Loki. In a way, Hawkeye. In a way, yeah. These new shows, like I said, I think people were excited for Moon Knight, but people were not excited for Miss Marvel. People
I
were not
was excited.
excited for. Like, we all know you were. People were not excited for She-Hulk. Heck, even What If was better than this.
True.
Even What If was better than this. And I'm not saying that that show was great, but I mean, it was it had a better direction where it was going, and they were longer too.
it's
So
interesting though because it's like these side characters that they're making shows out of because they're like not a lot of people know who they are. So let's just make a little show out of these characters. You know what I mean?
I
mhm.
understand that, but the change to that is nobody knew who Guardians of the Galaxy was when they made that
Nobody.
movie, that first movie.
That's
But the
true.
movie was good.
It's
That's
Yeah.
the
true.
whole thing. The movie was good,
And
and it
there and now everybody wants to be part of Guardian of the Galaxy now.
Oh
exactly.
yeah. Yep,
And
yep,
it's
yep,
just
yep.
like and the whole like kick in the bucket is just like that iteration of Guardians of the Galaxy started in 2008, so it wasn't even that far away that they rebooted that series. So it was like we rebooted that series new in the comic book, and then we did a movie about it. And it's just like, how can I relate better to a tree that only says one line more than I can relate to this person that is is green, but like she's also just like not relatable. It's I'm not relating to anything she's saying, anything she's doing. I can't make connections. Like I've made more connections with a person who had multiple personality disorder in Moon Knight than I make with her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's yeah. I'm kind of like disappointed that they're doing this to She-Hulk because I was actually excited to see how they did She-Hulk,
yeah.
and I talk about like we always talk about the CGI of it, but like the way she looks actually looks pretty good compared to like the comic. Like if we're gonna say like bringing it to like actual life, the features and stuff like that, like I see it, right? Like so it's not like they super fail with that. And if they use probably the same kind of budget they did for a Hulk, she would probably be even better. Like if she was able to
Oh,
be introduced into one of the movies where you could see her full strength, like like I think that probably would have been a lot better too. But I don't know, man. I think that they're trying to gear everybody towards something bigger later with these characters and how they're kind of intertwining. But I don't really see how they could do it because I feel like they're losing momentum with these characters and the way they're making the show. So they're not
man.
making you say, "Oh, I can't wait for another season," or "I can't wait for to see what they do next with it." But we're gonna watch it though, or we're gonna watch like if they come out with a new character just because. it's Marvel. You're like, oh, let's just see if it's gonna be good.
Well, somebody said something, two things to me that I wanted to bring up, and they were like, "Is it a quantity over quality thing?" Because he was like, before we get 1 to 2 movies a year, and now we're getting 3 movies, a couple of shows. Like, and he was just like, maybe it's a quantity thing where we're not getting the quality, and also,
I agree.
somebody made a comment that they were talking about female led stuff, and they were like, I don't understand why there's such a female led problem, because he's like, if you look at something like the Alien series, who's the hero in Alien? Ellen Ripley. She's one of the greatest female characters. Well, like, I'm gonna put it, she's one of the greatest hero characters in movie cinema.
Yeah.
And then he was just like another character, um, who these are females written by a man. Another character, what do you say, Sarah Connor in Terminator. He was like still one of the greatest characters in a movie. And then he was just like, but then you look at something like She-Hulk, where she has all this power, she has all this ability, and what's she doing? She twerking with Megan Thee Stallion, and that is written by a woman.
Yeah.
And he was just like, so he was like, so where's the, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, yeah, but I just think these are bad writers. It's not. It's
Yeah.
to do with them being female. I just
Yeah.
think bad
Bad,
writing.
right. Yeah, no, no. I agree. And it's out of control. Like, I don't know like what say these actors have when it comes to directing. I don't know.
Well, the actors have no say when it comes to directing, unless there's some type of executive producer on the show, or
Unless you're Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, like your what's your status, pretty
yeah,
much.
like
I
you
don't
don't.
even think I don't even think it matters even if it's them either. Like whatever they write, they're like, I casted you to do this. Like you're just
Well, I
gonna do
know.
it. Now they may be able to say, oh, I'm not gonna say this line the way you want it to, but
Well, I
the
know for a fact that RDJ, he freestyled the first Iron Man. They didn't have like a set script for him. They said we need to get the point A to point B, and John Favreau was like, we just need to get here to here, and Robert Downey Jr. did it off the top of his head, and I was like, that was perfect casting, because Robert Downey Jr. is technically
Playing
Tony Stark
himself.
if you look at his life.
Pause.
yeah,
He's playing the same character. He's always been.
yeah.
Exactly.
But that's like you said. It's like when you get certain characters or actors that they just execute well. Like he's just one of those A-list actors that like has been around for a while and he just fit that role perfectly. So
Yeah. And remember, he was
like,
going through some shit too.
yeah. I mean, even this character though, like she's not a bad Jennifer Walters. It's just that, like we were saying, it's just they just didn't
Writing
line it.
team,
They didn't line
directing.
it up right.
Yeah, it's all about that writing and execution, man. Like, if you got scatterbrain, if your ideas are all over the place, the writing is not there. It doesn't matter how good the actor is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. No.
And
But
especially when
no.
they're young too, I feel like this like she's not that well known of an actress. So it's like you get a role, they're like, we're gonna hire you to be this, to be She-Hulk. Who's not gonna jump on that, opportunity, to
Yeah.
be a part of Marvel?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Universe.
That's a life changer right there.
Yeah, bro. Because
It's a
going
life.
forward, you are She-Hulk.
Yep. You are.
Because, like, who
Now,
who else is playing Tony Stark? That's all I gotta say.
No.
what?
I mean, we're gonna keep going
That's
down the
it.
list here. Like, I guess say who's gonna play King T'Challa, but
Well, that's
Well,
we'll
that's
find
like
out in November.
that's a whole different thing. I feel like they should actually replace Chadwick Boseman, and that's no disrespect to him, because I loved him. I followed his career ever since he was doing small shows. Like I loved him, and uh, I just feel like for them to move forward with Black Panther, they have to replace T'Challa.
They have
You
to.
know what I mean? Because it's like there's so many stories and so many other things that T'Challa gets into, and then like they just hit the tipping point of it. You know what I mean? And I was just like, for him to tragically pass away the way he did, like I love what he did for us. You know what I mean? And that's not I'm not just saying like I love what he did in Black Panther. I love what he did in the roles he took in his acting career. That goes from Thurgood Marshall to Jackie Robinson. You know what I mean? If you haven't seen those movies, then you need to watch that movies and then go and check out like even when he was doing like guest appearances on other shows, he was magnificent. So like I followed Chadwick Boseman's career from the beginning, and to have it end where it did, trust me, I have
It's
the utmost respect for him.
Mhm.
you
But I
got
still
to.
think they
He's
need to replace. They need to
he's
they need
uh,
to recast T'Challa. That's
no,
all.
not to cut you off, but like he's one of the actors where Hollywood entertainers like he passed away, and I have not seen one person, one internet, one person, nothing on the internet where they talk where he's a bad. They say something negative about him. It's always
Oh,
been positive. I have not seen any negative things about Chadwick Boseman, and that's a blessing. That really is a blessing.
you
You
can't
know,
because the caliber of person he was.
Yeah, there's nothing negative to say about him. And I think,
Exactly.
yeah, I think somebody asking for they asking for all the smoke if somebody
Yes.
says something negative about Chadwick Boseman.
oh yeah, definitely, definitely. But yeah, it looks like we talked about everything, man. Like I said, I think we're all nervous about the show. We don't like where the direction that it's going in, and for all we know, I don't know when Derek's going to show up. Like I said, probably towards either episode 8, episode 9, and yeah, man, I've just been, so whatever. It's a comedy show, but it's like there's no direction to it. Like, do I care to see She-Hulk back in the movies? No, not really. Like, do I care how it ends? How the show ends? No. I don't know where the show's. I don't even know where the show's even gonna lead to. I guess Thunderbolts. That's the only show. That's the only. Wait, Thunderbolts is gonna be a movie or a show?
I think
Mm,
it's gonna be a movie. I will have to double check that one.
I'll double check that one.
yeah.
Yeah, but no, I said before we pretty much talked about everything. We pretty much got everything off our chest today. But like, is there anything else you guys want to add on to this? Because like I said, I mean, straight basic forward episode. We're all nervous. I really don't know what else to say to this, honestly.
It's a movie.
No, he confirmed it.
It's
Yep.
a movie. Oh, well,
Yeah.
for some reason I thought it was a show.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I guess that was the show
You know
then.
what?
Yeah,
Where the shows is going, I need you to make that a movie at least.
Yeah.
Please, please don't mess that up. Like,
what about Secret Invasion? Don't mess up Secret Invasion. That when I don't want them to mess up.
yeah. I mean, I'm happy they bringing my man Samuel Jackson back. I just don't know what they're doing with that movie. You know,
Show.
'cause-
I think it's a show.
hmm?
I think Secret Invasion is a show. Is a show.
Oh, it's a show.
I believe it's a show.
And that makes it even worse. Like the way these shows is going.
Saying like I Secret Invasion. See, that Secret Invasion, man. That part of me thinks I can work out as a show, but that's a tough one. Because remember, it's like the scrolls taking over, and I feel as though for that type of show, I feel that has to be put as a show than a movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's just
I
my thoughts.
my issue with it is, um, are you gonna make these episodes 30 minutes like you're doing with She-Hulk, like you did with pretty much all the other shows,
I
or are you
think
gonna be like a solid hour of real, like a real show? You know what I mean? Like, give me 50 minutes, 60 minutes, because I feel like you need to dig in and really
let's see.
flesh out that story and why Samuel Jackson's been gone this whole time.
Is Secret Invasion a show or a movie?
It is a show. I
It's a
just
show.
looked.
Disney Plus. Disney Plus. So We just had to see, man. Like I said, I give
Mm.
up my final words. And once again, goes up their final words before we head up out of here. So I'm tired as hell right now.
No, I see, man. You struggling, but
I am struggling,
no,
bro.
I don't.
That's what the show does to me. That's what the
Yeah,
show does to me. That's what the show does to me, man. I just get tired. I'm just like, because here's the thing. I always get excited talking about it with you guys. I'm just, but like, this is the first one. I'm just like, yeah,
you don't really know what to say. But yeah, it's like I don't know. I was also gonna chime in on like the only thing I do kind of like, and I think is like kind of cool, like the illustrations and the credit, even though the credits take away from the show. It's
yeah,
like
that's
they
true.
add like little added illustrations in there, like from the episode.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I like
Um,
that. In Miss Marvel, they had like the little illustrations at the end too.
yeah, but
That's
I
true.
like how they draw up like certain things that happen. Like
Hmm.
I think like the
It's like
girl's holding up like
like
20 seconds, and the woman's like staring at the guy for 20 seconds.
yeah, if you ever watch like the Mandalorian, they do the
Mm,
same type of thing where they have like a watercolor art of what happened in the episode.
yep, yep,
Yeah,
yep.
Nice.
So that's the only thing I peeped out on this, and I was like, oh, that's pretty nice add on to it, but give me a better show too. Give me both.
right.
Velva, I got you on that part. But yeah, folks, that's about it right here. Like I said, we're just not. We can all agree that we're all nervous at the end of the show. We're all nervous. But even if the show is anticlimactic, booty juice, dog shit, we'll still talk about because we do love, we do love doing this shit. But I mean, even if the show's not that great, we still love debating, talking about it with you guys. Yeah, can't help but say thank you guys for tuning in. But if you are watching this on YouTube, give us a like, subscribe. If you're like us on Facebook, give it a like, share the video. And if you're just watching us on Twitch, just be sure to hit that follow button. But yeah, folks, I think that's about it. Nothing else to say. Hopefully, we'll be back again next weekend and talk about episode 7. And I mean, with 3 episodes left, can you pick up? Can this show pick up? Can this show make us forget, what you did these previous episodes and just, be like, dang, we can end this show with a bang? I don't know. I don't know. You haven't given me any hope to say, yeah, we can turn this thing around. No, you haven't. You haven't. Like I'm literally like baffled how so much potential the show had, and it's just going down a chain,
Yeah,
just going
since
down
this
a
is like
chain.
the NFL season, it's like this show is not making it to the playoffs, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not making it to
I want to talk about your team so bad, but I just want. I'm like, nah, I won't say anything. I won't say anything. I will keep. That'll be off camera. That'll be off camera. No football stuff allowed on this on this show before Anthony and I go at it. Not physical, because he will whip my because he whipped my ass. Like that's yeah. I ain't trying to fight Anthony. No, we'll have a debate fight, but not a physical fight. 'Cause I ain't trying to go to the hospital. I ain't got that type of money to be paying hospital bills on right now. No, but as always, guys, thank you guys for tuning in right now. Be sure I said to give this video a subscribe or follow. Be sure to give Eric a follow on his Instagram. Be sure to give Anthony a follow on his Instagram. The link description is in the box below. And we'll see you guys hopefully next Friday. If things go according to plan. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below about this episode. Like I said, do you think this show's gonna pick up, or do you think this show's gonna be like doomed, and we'll be nerds for like every Marvel show, not movie. But then again, the movies. Man, even the movies right now, man. I
That's
mean,
another discussion for another day.
dang, y'all got me thinking right now. My lord. All right, everybody. We'll see you guys next week. Y'all have a good weekend. Also, if you watch us on Twitch, I'll be on Twitch again tomorrow night playing multiverses. So if anyone's got multiverses for the PlayStation or Xbox, let me know. Be sure to join. The game is free. And a lot of fun. God damn, that was true to me. My God, I still say excuse me when I burp. That's how my mom raised me. I still say excuse me when I burp. All right, I got manners. All right, y'all need to say excuse me when you burp. All right, your mama raised you right. Oh man, I'm so tired. But anyway, folks, y'all have a good night. We'll see you guys next week. Y'all take it easy.
Oh.